I have put my body in this world for over 20 years and entered the world of souls after human death. And there, I have interacted with many spirits and witnessed countless events. What I am about to describe here is everything I have seen and experienced firsthand. Emanuel Swedenborg. Today, I will talk about the book Heaven and Hell, which contains the actual experiences of Emanuel Swedenborg, who traveled to the afterlife using his human body over the past 20 years. Emanuel Swedenborg was a mystic philosopher and a pioneer of psychical research. He was born in 1688 in a devout Christian family in Stockholm, Sweden. He had a mystical tendency from a young age and was known to speak in an extraordinary manner, to the point where rumors spread that he spoke with the voice of a divine boy. After graduating from university, he made significant achievements as a mathematician, scientist, and inventor, and even played an active role in politics for a time. His academic field spanned vast areas such as astronomy, physiology, and anatomy, and he published over 150 papers. In addition to his academic achievements, his influence during his time was evaluated as one of the most inexplicable figures in history that went beyond Europe. Initially, he was a scientist like Isaac Newton, but at the age of 57, he had a spiritual experience and became a mystic theologian. During his 84-year life, for the latter half of approximately 27 years, he expanded his knowledge in every academic field and dedicated himself to a spiritual life by directly communicating with the spirit world through an intermediary of spirits. He entered the spiritual world himself, saw and heard things or learned knowledge through communication with spirits and acquaintances, and based on this knowledge, dedicated himself to promoting the truth of the spirit world. One night, Swedenborg, who had left his homeland Sweden and was staying in a distant land of England, encountered a mysterious spiritual being whose identity was unknown to him. The being told him, "I will take you to the spiritual world where humans go after they die. Record what you see and experience there, and share it with people in the world." Thanks to this encounter, Swedenborg acquired the skill of death, which allowed him to freely enter and exit the spiritual realm while still alive in his physical body. When he visited the spiritual realm, he would lock himself in his room for several days without eating, and no one else was allowed to enter. According to his boarding house owner, these periods lasted from 3 days up to 10 days. Swedenborg used the skill of death to leave his physical body in a state of death and enter the world after death. When we receive notice of death, even if it's only for a short period, we become aware of the existence of spiritual beings or the spiritual realm. This fact shows that humans are not only made up of their physical bodies, but also have a deeper and more essential spirit, which functions as a tool for the spirit and is separated from the physical body. However, when the spirit is bound to the physical body, it cannot fully express its most spiritual qualities or actions, as it is tied to the pillar of the body. Therefore, the original nature of the spirit can only be expressed in a very limited way. Encountering death and its boundaries is the moment when we face the experience of crossing over to the spiritual realm. At this time, people become aware of the spiritual realm and their spirit, even if it's just a fleeting moment. Swedenborg said, "The reason why I came to associate with spirits and angels was because I, of my own accord, separated my spirit from my body. I did not associate with spirits as a human being with a physical body, but rather as a spirit without a physical body. However, at the same time, I was also undoubtedly a human being with a physical body. This is because just as spirits cannot see the human body, humans cannot see spirits. Therefore, they saw me as a spirit and treated me as such." Swedenborg suggests that humans consist of two parts: the spiritual part that belongs to the spiritual realm and the physical part that belongs to the natural realm. In other words, when we divide humans into two parts, one part is the spirit, and the other is the physical body that belongs to the natural realm. In essence, the true nature of humans, including their values, character, intellect, and inner desires that move them from the deepest part of their heart, is within the realm of the spirit. All of these phenomena are the workings of the spirit. In contrast, the body is inherently rooted in the material and natural world, as evidenced by its physical and superficial sensations such as sight, hearing, smell, touch, etc. When a person dies, their spirit remains in the body for 2-3 days. During this time, the spirit learns how to breathe and waits for 2 guiding spirits to arrive. If the approaching spirits are recognized through communication, the deceased follows them. If not, the spirit waits for other guiding spirits to arrive. Once the guiding spirits are confirmed, the deceased becomes a spirit and follows them. At this time, the soul follows the guiding spirits like flying from a great height over passing vineyards, pastures, people's homes, giant castles on hills, and forests. Conversations between spirits and humans are very dangerous for humans. There are some vicious spirits among them because they have not yet undergone a judgment as spirits. Furthermore, some of them still have memories of the human world, which can sometimes harm the human conversing with them. The spirit world, as described by Swedenborg, can be broadly divided into the realm of spirits, the realm of souls, and the underground realm of souls. The realm of souls and the realm of hell are each divided into 3 levels: upper, middle, and lower, including the realm of spirits, making a total of 7 spiritual realms, each of which is composed of countless spiritual groups. The realm of spirits is the first place to go after a person dies, and is a world that exists between the human world and the spirit world. The realm of spirits has a giant basin shape surrounded by huge rock mountains and icebergs that look very similar to the human world, and there are passages to the spirit world in several places between mountain ranges. However, these passages are not easily visible to the eyes of the spirits, and they become visible only when the spirits are ready to move to the spirit world. Apart from extraordinary spiritual abilities, such as transcendence and exchange of consciousness, spirits are no different from humans in their consciousness. Moreover, some spirits are unaware that they have died. Many of the spirits that Swedenborg met requested that he convey to their still living families that they are not dead, but alive as spirits, having visited the spirit realm as an unimaginable wanderer while leaving their physical body in the earthly realm. When a soul guide arrives in the spirit world, they begin to prepare to move on to the afterlife. Until then, they maintain their human appearance and remember their family relationships and various memories, sometimes feeling pain or sadness. The spirits who were working on cultivating and completing their spirit energy soon receive a visit from the inspector spirit. The inspector spirit inspects the destinations of the spirits based on records that are like notebooks of the travels of the major spirits. At this time, the souls who died together, such as a wife, daughter, or relative, will have their faces changed to the point where they can no longer recognize each other, and as a result, their groups will also be different. From now on, they gradually forget everything they did in the human world. This can be considered as one step forward to enter the afterlife. After several stages of preparation, they leave in appropriate groups. It is important to note that just as there are upper, middle, and lower realms in the afterlife, if one continuously cultivates their spirit energy and accepts spiritual influence in the lower realm, they can ascend to the middle realm. According to Swedenborg, the initial spirits who begin their new life as spirits after their human death experience great shock and confusion because of the new and unknown life as a spirit and the appearance of the spiritual world, which they could not even imagine during their physical life. This is because scholars or pastors in the world do not teach anything about the nature of humans and spirits or the afterlife, and instead, they instill wrong ideas, leaving people ignorant about the afterlife. Scholars only recognize and insist on the way of thinking based on the natural world and the material realm under the sun. Therefore, they arbitrarily conclude that anything invisible in the light of the natural world or impossible to think of based on the way of thinking rooted in the natural world does not exist. They teach people as if it is the truth, rejecting everything that exists based on the way of thinking and the light of the spiritual world. The most striking example of this is the record of heaven and hell. Swedenborg argued that hell is not a place where God throws people as punishment for their wrongdoings, as religious dogma suggests, but rather a place where those who were completely immersed in materialistic desires such as lust, pride and greed during their physical life and rejected spiritual growth end up. Of course, those who committed wrongdoing will eventually fall into hell because they cannot open their spiritual eyes, but in a sense, they end up in hell because they chose to do so. Ghost spiritual world is not constrained by the limitations of space and time. At the moment when one thinks of the spirit, even in the spirit world that is thousands of kilometers away, or the spirit world from thousands or tens of thousands of years ago, one can see the spirit face to face when one opens the window of the mind. This is possible because, just as speech or sound is transmitted through the air in the natural world, in the spirit world, there is a flow of energy that transcends space and time called spiritual power, which allows for the exchange of images and sounds in the mind and the movement of spirits. Each spirit has its own limitations, but it can also show its thoughts and language as images, and can even bring up all the records of its lifetime and information about the universe as it is. If someone wants to see their own future, they can hear the contents of the picture scroll about their entire life that is drawn in the spirit world through another spirit, or they can know it through the representation seen through the eyes of another spirit that has seen it. The spirit world and this world are not separate worlds, but one world. To explain this in an easy-to-understand way, this world is like a small rubber ball floating in the vast and infinite space of the spiritual world. Of course, the spirit world is also present inside the rubber ball. In fact, the spirit world is also present inside the rubber ball. All spaces outside the rubber ball are part of the spirit world, but only inside the rubber ball, the two worlds of the natural world and the spirit world, which transcend space and time, exist in the same space. Swedenborg recorded conversations with the spirits of ancient humans who he met while visiting a group called the Congregation of Nebulae. He described them as having no outstanding intelligence or sharpness, but rather giving a gentle and peaceful impression of innocence and simplicity, as if their childhood selves had become their true faces. They lived their lives with pure and sincere hearts, accepting the path of the universe without any ulterior motives. The ancient humans led spiritual lives, but as time passed, they became more distracted by materialistic and secular knowledge and scholarship, gradually moving further away from spiritual matters. Eventually, humans forgot about the existence of spirits and the spirit world altogether. However, ancient humans with pure and simple hearts still remained open to the spirit world. Therefore, there were people in ancient times who could communicate directly with spirits even in their physical bodies. When Swedenborg spoke with a spirit who lived during ancient times, he was surprised to hear that there were many people who could converse with spirits in human bodies during that time. In the spirit world, the ancient times are known as the Golden Age, and as generations passed, they referred to different eras as Silver, Bronze, and Modern Ages. This reflects how humanity gradually focused only on scientific achievements, worldly honor, and materialism, neglecting spiritual matters and gradually closing the window to the spirit world. If we too can possess the pure and innocent hearts of the ancient humans, there is no doubt that we can also have conversations with spirits. So then, what is the source of all human and spiritual life? When Swedenborg first entered the spiritual realm, he was amazed to see the sun hovering at about chest height. Another spirit explained to him about the sun of the spiritual realm. All life is connected to the source of life and can only exist by being connected to it. All spirits in the spiritual realm are connected to the sun and thus enjoy eternal life. The sun of the spiritual realm illuminates the realm and enables spirits to see things, and it is also the foundation of rational thought. Its heat gives life to spirits. Swedenborg describes this source of life as the sun of the spiritual realm and the spiritual current that flows from it. Therefore, apart from the spirits who directly receive this spiritual current, humans and other forms of life can indirectly receive it through the spirits within them and thus continue their existence. According to Swedenborg, the essence of life and its control is in the spirit rather than the physical body, which means that the spirit is the master of the human body. Therefore, if someone denies the existence of the spirit or the spiritual world, they are denying the essence of their own life. So, what is the meaning of human life? Swedenborg explained that the human realm is the ultimate expression of the spiritual realm. For example, if you want to express something to someone, just thinking about it is not enough to convey your intention. You have to express it in the form of language or writing. In other words, the human realm is the end point of the spiritual realm, where spiritual ideas and intentions are expressed and realized. Why can't humans know the spirit? Swedenborg mentions this issue as follows. Human beings, existing within the material world, are inherently materialistic and do not understand the workings of the spiritual world. However, birds always find their way back to their nests no matter how far away they are. Flowers bloom and bear fruit every season without fail. Even bees, which we may not consider wise, construct intricate hives and live together in an orderly fashion. If we consider these examples, we can sense that the wisdom of the natural world is at work behind them. The reason why humans do not understand the spiritual world is because their physical bodies are subject to the influence of this natural wisdom. If all humans could truly believe and have faith in the existence of the spiritual realm, what would happen? Most likely, almost everyone would end their physical lives prematurely and enter the spiritual world. The natural world allows humans to live out their natural lifespan and conceals the existence of the spiritual realm and eternal life until the end of their physical lives. Swedenborg mentioned another reason why humans do not understand the workings of the spiritual world. Humans are made up of two elements, the spiritual and the physical. However, if humans were always aware of the spiritual element within themselves and submitted to its control, what would happen? Humans, who value freedom above all else, would inevitably struggle against the spiritual element, seeking to dominate themselves. The struggle between these two elements is obvious. Additionally, the spiritual element within humans knows nothing of these struggles. To them, the physical body of humans is invisible, and they give life to it and unconsciously control their thoughts and feelings. Behind this lies the wisdom of the greater world, which combines the spiritual and natural worlds into one. Among the spiritual entities, there are beings known as malevolent spirits who constantly seek to destroy the lives and thoughts of those they have a relationship with. If one of these entities enters a human body, it will immediately harm it unless it recognizes that the body is not its own, but rather that of a human. Foretelling his own death. Swedenborg sent the following letter to Reverend Wesley. Although they had never met, Swedenborg knew through spiritual perception that he needed to write to him. I have heard that you wish to see me in the afterlife, and I will depart from this world and become a true spiritual being on March 29th, 1722. Since this fact has already been decided, I thought I would inform you in advance. Reverend Wesley replied in surprise, I have heard of the famous spiritualist named Swedenborg for a long time, and I have shared your letter with my friends. However, we are amazed that you, who I have never met before, knew that I wanted to see you in the afterlife. I learned of your wishes through communication with your spirit, which is a rare occurrence for me. However, my communication with your spirit was confirmed by your response, Reverend Wesley. This book is all that remains of me in this world, except for my body, which has completed its mission in the afterlife. However, as the author of this book, I have no regrets about leaving the earthly world. As I stated in my letter to Wesley, the prophecy of my impending death will soon be proven true after I pass away. Thank you for watching. If you found this video interesting, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment with your thoughts. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please remember to do so. See you next time.